Jake, is very clearly a cognitive decline.
Okay.
That's what I'm referring to. It makes me uncomfortable.
You have no.
I
can't. That's so amazing. It's so amazing to me that
and try and figure out an answer.
A cognitive decline.
When you're trying to tell me that what I was suggesting was
I think that you were mocking his stutter. Yeah, I think you were mocking his stutter, and I think you have absolutely no standing to diagnose somebody's cognitive decline. I would think that somebody in the Trump family would be more sensitive to people who do not have medical licenses diagnosing politicians from afar. Plenty of people have diagnosed your father from afar, and I'm sure it offends you. Your father.
Let's rock and roll. Rock and roll. Come on, everybody. Let's lose control. Brand John never wants to follow. Yeah, ready for the ride. It's the BJ Show.
It is the BJ Show. Today's date is the 30th of October. Man, this month just seemed to fly by. John, what do you think?
All Hallows Eve.
Is that what it is? All Hallows Eve?
I guess so. I just made that up. I'm sure other people have said it before. So it's Halloween Eve.
Halloween Eve. So in other words, people should get ready to eat all their Snickers and their Kit Kat bars before the kids eat them. Is that what they should do?
They should. And then when they feel bad about it on Saturday morning, they should go to fastfoodmediet.com and they can learn how you can eat all the Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, and as an AI chick says, MacD's without gaining weight.
That's John Combest, always complimentary of me. And by the way, first off, let me give John Combest his intro, and then I have one little comment to make, which we didn't talk about yesterday, which we probably should have. John Combest, every single day of his life, puts together this incredible site that has all these important things you should know about. 24 years now, is that right? 24 years? 24?
Yeah, something like that.
24 years, and John still is doing it every single day, has never missed a single day. It's all kinds of things. It's links, nothing fancy, no fancy graphics or anything like that. But what it does is it gives you an overview of what John thinks are the most important stories in the state of Missouri for that day. Sometimes literally dozens, sometimes 40 and 50 different stories. But what we do in the morning, we essentially condense it down to the top three. Now, before I play Casey, I want to make a comment, which, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but the St. Charles County executive race has taken an interesting turn. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it's gotten very nasty where there are people posting pictures which, quite honestly, I think are not necessarily fair in nature. But the pictures that are now popping up, and we don't know exactly which campaign is doing this, but they're pictures of Bill Eigel asleep in the county, or in the Senate district, so what they call it, the Senate dwell, or what do they call it in the Missouri Senate? Is it like the Senate chambers? Is that what it is?
Chamber, yeah. He was checking his text messages, according to him, right, Brad? That was his cover story.
Yeah, there are pictures of Bill Eigel asleep in the Senate chambers when he was a Freedom Caucus senator. And, I tell you what, it's gotten to be sort of dirty tricks already, John. What do you think about that?
For folks who don't know, Brad, I'm sorry to cut you off. I appreciate your sarcasm there. For folks who don't know, Brad is being sarcastic. And when Steve Ehlmann announced that he was indeed running for re-election, Bill Eigel's campaign team posted a photo from the night before at the county council meeting where Steve Ehlmann had his head down, and it appeared that he was snoozing. Now, Steve Ehlmann's story is that, no, I can show you the text messages. I was texting my wife. I was looking at my phone. So, Brad, I appreciate the sarcasm there. That's kind of a wink at people that have followed the story closely, right?
What are you talking about, John? That's
I'm talking about the story number 3 at 7:06 a.m. That's what I'm talking about, Brad.
It's not the pictures of Bill Eigel asleep in the Senate chambers?
No, that's not what it is. Hey, that would be a great one for B block or C block.
Okay, we start things off with this guy.
I'm Casey Kasem.
And he counts down John's top 3, and we start with...
In third place...
You better get up, get out, and get something. Don't let the days of your life pass you by. You better get up, get out, and get something. Don't spend all your time trying to get high. That was from Outkast, 1994. That was actually Goody Mob singing the hook there. CeeLo and Company. Brad, a headline from Kurt Erickson of the Post-Dispatch. Missouri set to launch work requirements for food stamps. Here's Kurt's lead. A new work requirement for food stamp recipients goes into effect Saturday, even as the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, is set to halt benefits to more than 650,000 Missourians if the government shutdown continues, blah, blah, blah. Individuals will receive 3 months of SNAP food benefits, but the subsidy will end if they do not provide proof of compliance with the work requirements. Brad, because you're brilliant at times, you're about to ask, what are the new work requirements? Well, if you're able-bodied and you're not an old codger like Brad, the work requirements are 80 hours of employment or participation in a training program every month. So roughly, by my Hazelwood East math, you'd have to work 20 hours a week, or you'd have to be in some sort of a training program to get you ready for the workforce. And yes, there are old people exemptions. And yes, I'm sure there's ones for the handicapped and then people that are taking care of kids on their own. But in general, this is a federal policy. Now, when I read this headline, by the way, excuse me, I thought it was just a state proposal. But as it turns out, Erickson says the new rules are part of the federal budget bill passed by Congress and signed into law by President Trump in July. The benefits are fully funded through the Department of Agriculture, and then the states administer them. And here in the state of Missouri, it's the Missouri Department of Social Services. So, Brad, to quote Goody Mob on the Outkast song, don't spend all your time trying to get high. You got to get up, get out, and get something. Brad, I imagine you're wildly opposed to the idea of people having to work if they want to get welfare, aren't you?
You know, I heard the other day that in the United States, that 12% of the U.S. population gets SNAP benefits. And I find that almost hard to believe. I mean, that's like if the U.S. population is, 330 million or something like that, 12% would put it right around, 36, 37 million people? Am I doing my math correctly, John?
Yeah. But, Brad, walk into Walmart and look at 10 people, or look at 8 people. 1 out of every 8 people you see at Walmart that's an adult is probably on food stamps, wouldn't you say?
Well, I don't know. Have you heard the new thing where they're talking about raiding Walmart and also that they're attacking people in the parking lot of grocery stores? Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
You really haven't heard this?
No, what is it?
Well, there's a movement that saying that if the SNAP benefits, and this is not necessarily, who in the world's calling me?
They're the kind of people that leave their phone on when they're on the air.
It's not necessarily in the St. Louis area, but it's a national thing. There's a movement that if the SNAP benefits are not approved, there's a movement that people are going to show up at Walmart at 10:30 because the Walmarts, for the most part, don't stay open 24 hours a day anymore. They close at 11. People are going to show up at Walmart and do like a flash mob, raid the store, take everything out of the store. And then also the movement is you go to the affluent areas, and what you do is as the people come out with their shopping carts, you essentially hijack their shopping carts because it's already been paid for by these people, and you run the cart over to your car, throw all the stuff in, and you just get the hell out of there in a hurry. You haven't heard about this?
So it seems pretty wise to put your plans of committing a crime on social media. So people are really doing this?
Once again, John, sometimes criminals are not the smartest people. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point.
Yeah, I do get that. And I'm sure, can you imagine working for Walmart? Like you have a crisis plan now that's like, okay, and you wonder what it's called, like Operation Hobo or Operation 1030 or something like that. Because if you're the PR team, you're like, okay, we're going to get media inquiries about this. We're going to have savages attacking people in a parking lot. How do we prepare for it?
It's a real thing. When I heard it yesterday, I thought to myself, man, this has gotten out of control. And I've heard comments of people. They were playing comments. I think this was on, it might have been on 97.1. I can't remember what I was listening to. And they were playing comments from all these people. And the one woman brazenly said, I haven't had a job since 2016. I haven't bought food since 2016. I use my SNAP card all the time since 2016. If I don't get my food, I'm going into the store. I'm just taking it. That's what you said.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a percentage of those videos that are legitimate. Like obviously stuff like that is a skit that is, it's promoted to get a reaction out of people like Brad, but there's probably people that actually do live like that. And the 1030 movement, I just looked it up on AI. It was started by a guy that sits outside of a Schnucks. And there's an old bum that comes in and buys junk food in the morning after he's on the radio. And then the guy doesn't like the food that the radio hobo gives to him. And he was so mad about it. He's like, I just got to relocate. I just got to go to a Walmart now because the Schnucks isn't cutting it.
John's always so nice to me. Okay, ready for number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Up a notch to number 2.
From proverbial welfare to the literal welfare of Missourians, 2 headlines on my website today at johncombest.com. One from St. Louis Public Radio, another from the Columbia Missourian. MoDOT is warning about a possible rise in traffic fatalities. In fact, Missouri is on track this year to surpass last year's highway death total. Here's what Sarah Kellogg from St. Louis Public Radio reports. That's an about face from the prior 2 years when road fatalities trended downward. And then a gentleman from MoDOT goes on to say, that's unacceptable for Missouri and for everybody here that's lost family members, that's lost team members, that's lost workers. They go on to say that they've made changes to the work zones. For example, there was a fatal crash that occurred in Warrenton earlier this month. They've tried to widen the lanes out a little bit. The folks from MoDOT say that distracted driving is still a problem. So that's probably not a surprise, Brad. But I bet if you're at MoDOT, excuse me, and you're one of the folks that studies these, you wonder why traffic fatalities could be down for 2 years, excuse me, and what was it this year that caused people to be on their phones more, to lack attention more? I don't know if there's ever a number of weather days element to it, but of course the folks from MoDOT point out to folks, hey, the days are getting shorter, which means mathematically you have more people driving in what could be considered night and dark conditions. Put your phones down. Don't be an idiot when you're driving around work zones. Don't try to text when you're near a work zone. And this is really sad, Brad. And I wonder why this year is worse than other years.
I can tell you why, John.
Why is that?
I have a friend that works for MoDOT. And
yeah, what did they say? Did it have to do with a dead horse that involves a left lane and driving fast?
Well, this person said it's a Freedom Caucus issue that they have people that are driving like at 130 miles an hour down to Jefferson.
In which lane, Brad? And from what state senator?
In the left lane, John. And in the left lane, they're doing 130 miles an hour. And what they're doing is they're weaving in and out of traffic because if the people won't yield that left lane at 120, they're weaving into the other lanes and causing accidents. So that's
for folks playing the home game tomorrow. We will find out if Brad can make it 5 days in a row where he shoehorns an Adam Schnelting dig into John's top 3.
Why would I do that, John? I never said anything about Adam Schnelting. I mean,
some would say you had a beef, and that's a great lead-in to story number 1 today, Brad.
Okay, here it is.
The number 1.
I have 2 headlines up today that involve beef prices. Excuse me, Brad. I've had a frog in my throat. I sound like Miss Piggy, if you know what I mean. I have a frog in my throat. 2 stories that involve high beef prices. And we just got done talking about Walmart and Schnucks. And if you've been to either of those stores, or God forbid the elitist Deerbergs, where I get most of my beef, you would see an outrageous price for beef on the shelves. I'll point folks today, in particular, to a story from Mark Zinn from Fox 2 News. Missouri ranchers worry beef imports will be bad for consumers. And I think most of us have heard that Donald Trump has a plan to import a bunch of beef from Argentina. And the short of it is, in response to sky-high beef prices, Trump says that bringing in Argentine beef will help lower prices. Now, here's how Zinn describes it. Because of sky-high prices at checkout, President Trump said the U.S. will increase beef imports from Argentina to make up for the lagging supply. Despite controversy surrounding the move, Horstman, who's a gentleman that Mark talked to from Owensville, Missouri, in Gasconade County, says it's nothing compared to what's already coming into the country from Brazil, Australia, and Canada. And this gentleman, Mr. Horstman, says Argentina's just a blip of what we already are importing. Now, Horstman from the United States, you might predict accurately that he says bringing in a whole lot of beef from other countries isn't a good idea. Here's what he says. The best way to know what you're eating is to source it local from a farmer. And in fact, another gentleman from Marys County, a town called Vienna, says Missouri beef is just better. It's more likely to be it's more likely to be grass-fed, like what this gentleman produces, rather than corn-fed beef coming in from Argentina. Now, I will make a shameless plug, Brad, and say that on Saturday at 10 a.m., right here on Westplex Talk 104.5, folks can hear on the Farm Show, that's Farm and Ranch, Missouri, folks can hear an update on the beef industry. They can hear more details from Mark Zinn's story and what it means for cattle ranchers, not just across the state of Missouri, but particularly folks in our 4-county broadcast area. And before we discuss it, Brad, I'll also point folks, I mentioned there were 2 stories about beef, a fantastic piece from Cara Hart in Brownfield Ag News. There's a gentleman in the state of Missouri who is a livestock auction owner, and he has an idea, a $1 beef coupon. Brad, you're going to ask, in your omniscient brilliance, hey, who's going to pay for it? Well, maybe the federal government. The idea is the government would give out $1 per pound coupons or digital rebate for consumers buying U.S. beef. Excuse me. So, Brad, you could go into Aldi with your $1 a pound coupon or voucher on your phone, and you could get subsidized U.S. produced beef, maybe from Warren County, maybe from Franklin County. And then you could take that to the checkout at Aldi and get $1 off your beef purchase. What do you think of that?
John, I have to tell you, every year at the Town and Country Fair, and I've done this for years, every year at the Town and Country Fair, my favorite place is the Franklin County Cattlemen's Association ribeye steak sandwich booth. Oh, my God, they're so good.
You're a big fan of it. You've talked about it before, Brad. Yeah. You love the fresh ribeye.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I used to be in a leads group in Washmo, and there was a guy in there that had a farm in western Franklin County, and he actually sold it. And a lot of people in the leads group, I don't have a freezer, so I couldn't use it. But he sold a lot of the beef locally, and he did everything. I mean, I think he did the whole deal. He grew them and he slaughtered them and the whole bit, and he ground up the hamburger, all that kind of stuff. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize that, but you mentioned that. In Warren and Franklin County, there are a fair amount of beef ranches in that area, or cattle ranches in that area. And a lot of people don't even realize that, do they?
I'm sorry to interrupt. The USDA data backs that up, Brad. I don't have the numbers at my fingertips. But you can see if you're from, let's say you're in West St. Louis County, and you're driving to the Washington Town and Country Fair, and you're driving off of 100 or whatever route you take, if you keep your eyes open, which you should be when you're driving, you'll see a ton of cattle out there.
Yeah, right along Highway 100, right where you turn on T to go down to Labadee. Yeah, exactly right.
That's exactly right,
There's a cattle ranch right there. Okay, ready for number 1?
That was number 1, Brad.
No, it wasn't. See,
we did number 3, we did number 2, which was road deaths, and then we did number 1, which was beef.
I'm just testing you. John, can I be honest with you? I mean, I try to be honest guy. I'm a walking wounded again this morning,
Oh, no. What happened, Brad?
It's my stupid gallbladder attack. It's back.
Oh, no, Brad.
I ended up in the hospital earlier this year with, matter of fact, I think right in January, I missed a show. Remember that? I don't know if you remember that or not. But, I'm going like, man, it hit me about 2 o'clock this morning, and I'm going like, oh, man.
Are you in pain right now?
Yes, tremendous pain. I mean.
Are you going to go to, when we get off the air, can you go to either a doctor or an urgent care?
I'm hoping that it'll be better. I mean, the last time this happened to me, I ended up going in an ambulance to the emergency room. And when I got in there, once again, they triaged me for a heart attack, which I was not having. And I told them up front, I go, this is gallbladder attack. And when they did my blood pressure, I was 227 over 165.
Oh, Brad. But the fact that you were up early in the morning overnight, that's a sign that your body's telling you something.
Which is like Stroke City. Yeah, Stroke City. Okay.
Yeah, but Brad, maybe right after the show, maybe you should go in.
And I think I'm going to go. Eat a ribeye someplace in Franklin County.
How about some onion rings? I besmirched you for eating onion rings.
Yeah, oh yeah, onion rings. I got some of those in my freezer. Well, at my refrigerator, but I haven't eaten them yet. Okay, John, we are going to go into the B block, and that's coming up next.